What's going on, you guys? Welcome to an all-new episode of Cover 3. I'm joined by Sterling Bennett, host of 49ers Access Podcast, Aaron Labcoat, host of 49ers First Takes. I'm sorry, it's Aaron Lab again. Correction. And, of course, yours truly, me, Dre, host of Dre Area Sports. We're here to bring you all the latest news surrounding the San Francisco 49ers. And boy, do we have some big news that even dropped today. But before we get to all of that, I was going to talk about last night's game, but Aaron didn't watch it. Go figure. So we're going to move right on from that and go right into our top story, which is Christian freaking McCaffrey. McCaffrey yesterday... the 49ers report that Christian McCaffrey was limited in practice due to a calf condition. This is via Matt Mayoko. So it was like, uh-oh, what's going on there? Panic struck. Things got crazy. And then there was this news. Can you guys read that okay, or is it kind of blurry? I can read it now. And now that I'm full screen, I can see it. Christian McCaffrey, who typically speaks to the media on Thursdays, wasn't in the locker room during that assigned time today. Now he's popped up on the 49ers injury list with a calf injury. This is via Matt B. Lively. Okay, so a lot of talk about, is this a repeat of last year? Is Christian McCaffrey going through the same calf strain, which led to the bilateral Achilles tendonitis with the micro tears? Is this the same story? Is it happening all over again? Or is this like Groundhog's Day? But before we get to all that, Sterling, what did you hear today coming out of Niners practice?
Well, we did see Christian McCaffrey on the side today doing some warm-ups. He did not then join the rest of the team, which isn't always too shocking. Christian is the video on screen there, perfect. Doing his own thing. He often does that before practice begins, so not too shocking there. But he was listed as a non-participant in the practice as a whole. So a DNP today, leading into Sunday's game against the Seattle Seahawks. And if you got to listen to head coach Kyle Shanahan's post-practice press conference, where he did say Christian McCaffrey is indeed questionable heading into Sunday's season opener against the Seattle Seahawks, it was short, sweet, and sour. He's questionable. I don't want to talk about it. We're not going to get into it. It was basically, I'm so pissed off. I'm so angry. I'm so annoyed this is happening again that I don't even want to talk about it with the media or the fan base. Shanahan was not pleased, not happy. This seems to be, although yes, maybe categorized as a re-aggravation, they said this thing happened yesterday. This is a new injury. We don't know if it's related to what happened last year, but for those in the chat saying it's a wrap, it's cooked, you may want to put Christian McCaffrey on ice at some point because 17 games of Christian McCaffrey seems out of question right now for the San Francisco 49ers.
Aaron, the fact that Shanahan said that he didn't want to talk about it, what is your feeling on the McCaffrey injury? Is it something that we're just making a big deal about, or do you think this is something that's very serious, that is something similar to what we experienced last season?
You should see the response to the things that I've been tweeting. You know, the seriousness. I think that a lot of people were kind of saying it wasn't that big of a deal and that I was overblowing it and that I was taking information and making more out of it than what it is. When it's obvious, it's a big thing, just based on the head coach's refusal to talk about it. If this was just like a passing injury, like a strain, or somebody stepped on his, like somebody stepped on his calf, like with a cleat or something and grazed it, and he got a little bit of like a contusion, then Kyle, I wouldn't have seen that. I mean, Kyle's pissed. This team, I have such conflicted energy with this team and its injury situation all the time. It's like there's the one hand where you can't help things that happen because they just happen. And then there's this other feeling of like, this has been an issue since John and Kyle have been here. And it's just like the same old shit all the time. And it's really disturbing as a fan. Like I told you guys call me, a Debbie Downer, negative Nancy. It's just, it's hard to get engaged or excited when you feel like at any point during the day, you're going to get some tweet or some quick little thing from Adam Schefter saying that one of your best players is hurt. And the fact that it's in his lower body again, lower legs, just like last year with the bilateral Achilles tendonitis. If you don't think that's a concern, I don't know what you're talking about. You're just trying to. I mean, the Brian Robinson move now looks like a master stroke when it comes to what they did this season. So I don't know. I'm pretty irritated right now about it.
Right.
Because it's like it came out of nowhere yesterday. Somebody literally tweeted yesterday that this is like the healthiest the 49ers have ever been. They had I think everybody participating in practice yesterday. And literally, 2 hours later, somebody came out to report that he's going to miss time, or not miss time. He was questionable, and it was like a calf injury. So I don't even know what to say at this point, man. It disappointed is an understatement.
Well, let's go to Kyle Shanahan and hear what he had to say about the injury at the presser today. Let's go ahead and let's listen in.
Yeah, you're all right. Did not practice. I was looking at the wrong box.
Was he able to do any team drills yesterday, Kyle, or what happened during practice yesterday with him?
Yeah, he did a limited amount of stuff in practice yesterday.
What's your level of concern with his physical condition and his ability to play on Sunday?
It's questionable. Questionable concern. I'm not going to say anything about Christian Gus or any of our players' injuries.
Is it fair to say, because he wasn't on the injury report Wednesday, that this is something that occurred yesterday?
Yeah, it came up yesterday.
Does Brian Robinson have a full?
Yeah, you are.
Poor Larry, he got cut off there. All right, look, so this is my take on this. I really think that, does he have an injury? I think he felt something in his calf during practice and probably went over to them and said, hey, my calf feels kind of weird. Get off the field. But we saw him, what he was doing on the practice field today, jumping around. There's one here that I'll share with you guys where he's literally jumping like a rabbit. I better turn that off. There we go. But there he goes.
Really fast.
I know. But see, he's hopping around on his calves. He's stretching it out. He's moving just fine. To me, oh God. To me, what this says is this. It says that Kyle Shanahan says, okay, look, the word has gotten out that he has this calf injury and everyone's freaking out. So instead of saying like, he's fine, he'll be ready to go, he's going to play it up and be like, I'm not going to talk about Christian. It is what it is. Because he doesn't want Seattle to be like, okay, he's going to play. You see, I fucking knew it. No, they're going to be like, is he going to play? I don't know. He looks pissed. Let's game plan for him not being there. It's just another decoy that he's going to try to use as an advantage for Sunday's game against Seattle. That's my take. Sterling, what do you think about what he said? And do you think his injury is legitimate?
Oh, I think Christian McCaffrey.
Actually, or I should say serious. There you go.
I think when asking if this injury in particular is serious, I don't know. It could be minor. However, it's not just this injury. It's this year and last year's injuries combined into making a bigger conversation for all of us all as fans, because he missed 2 months last year because of the same injury or a similar one, and he had to go to Germany to get his Achilles fixed and hopefully come back, in which he did, but then he hurt his PCL. So while this injury could indeed be questionable, a small thing and whatnot, that doesn't mean that it can't linger or turn into something more severe, which I think is most fans' worry and concern. He went the entire offseason, OTAs, preseason, didn't play basically the entire year last year because of this injury, and they gave him every 2 days off. He practiced 2 days, had an off day. They handled him with kid gloves during this offseason in hopes he'd be ready by week 1. Now, I think he'll play this Sunday. How much, I don't know. I don't think Kyle is that great of an actor, to be honest with you. Kyle does let the mask down at times, and I think that for him, you're walking into a week having a game plan installed, and all of a sudden, bang! Hey, Kyle, my calf hurts. Okay, we'll adjust. Now, they have some time, and I think, again, CMC will play, but I don't think San Francisco is really in the business right now, at least of playing 4D chess with the Seattle Seahawks. I get it. It certainly helps if it's true, but I think there at least is some concern that with every snap he takes, is that the last one? Is the next one the last one? Which is not a place you want to be with what seems to be your most important offensive player this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that means a whole lot to their offense. I mean, on top of that, I'm glad that they got Brian Robinson Jr., B-Rob. I'm glad they got him on the team, that he can help carry the load. And I think he will. I think he'll get a lot more carries on Sunday. And plus, when you get down into those short yardage situations, I think B-Rob is going to be the guy that gets the ball on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1. Like, let's let him do that and not have McCaffrey go in there and just, sacrifice his own health to get a few yards. Aaron, what do you think? Is this cause for concern based on what Shanahan said? Do you feel like this is something that he'll be able to shake off by Sunday, or do you think this is a major issue with his calf?
I don't think it's gamesmanship. I think Kyle's legitimately irritated and disappointed. This isn't like we're trying to play coy with something and, we want to have the advantage with the Seahawks. I think it's a legitimate issue. I think it's a legitimate concern for 49er fans going forward that this might be just par for the course with Christian McCaffrey for the rest of his time with the 49ers. And
right.
The fact that they made the move to Brian Robinson in the offseason gives me the pause that I think they know it too, and that they had to guard themselves from it. And now the fact that we're going into week 1 and he's questionable, to me, all the comparisons when we got Brian Robinson is he could do a lot of the things that Christian McCaffrey can do. Maybe not to the extent, but he can catch the ball, he can do this, he can do that. He was the top guy in Washington. If I'm the 49ers, I don't even risk it. I sit McCaffrey Sunday and I play B-Rob. And that's it.
Wow. Really? You would sit him?
Yep.
I would not sit him.
You'd risk losing week 1 if it meant getting Christian McCaffrey back for, I don't know, the next 15 games.
Yes.
The Niners have to win their division games this year.
I know, but I don't think, guys, this is huge, man.
Yeah.
Like you said,
absolutely.
Building an offense
it could
around
derail
a guy,
their entire season, like it did last year.
It's insane. I'm concerned with the long haul. Part of me isn't as concerned about Seattle as a lot of people are. Okay. And I'm usually, like you guys say, I'm the negative one here. I feel like Seattle's winnable, even with Brian Robinson as your starting running back. I think going into week 2 against the Saints is winnable without Christian McCaffrey as your running back. And I'd rather have him against against teams like the Rams down the road a little bit, where you really need him to be fresh. I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it because he's had injury issues in the past. But when we got him in 2002, right? 2022.
Yeah.
And he was really good, and we had him down the stretch. Everything was fine. And then we used the hell out of him in 2023. And I feel like what we're seeing now is kind of a reflection of what happens when you take a guy like a Christian McCaffrey, who's known to have had issues, and just run him into the ground. And I think, I don't know if it's a Shanahan thing, because, it happened to Terrell Davis, but this is... Part of me is like, okay, give him some rest, bring him back against, a team that we need all hands on deck, and maybe sit him out the first 2 games. But I think it's based on how he feels. If he feels that he can go and he's not going to further injure himself, then I say play him. But
he's not going to say he can't go. That's the issue. The whole thing has been, we have to save Christian from himself. He's not going to say I can't play, coach. He's going to say, no, I can go out there. I can get 20 touches. He's going to want to play on Sunday. And I don't think San Francisco is in a place this year, especially with the young defense that's really unproven. You heard Saleh say, enjoy the ride. And that ride can have some really great ups, but also some really low downs that can cost you some big games. The receiver room is kind of in disarray behind Jennings and Pearsall right now. The offensive line is still a big question. You can almost say you can't even afford to rest Christian McCaffrey week 1 with the other issues this team has. And I get it, we all want CMC out there. We know what kind of player he can be when he's healthy. But when you're over-reliant on guys that have that label next to them, if healthy, that backfires a lot. And it feels like right now, San Francisco, they're seeing the backfire. That you may have CMC for 10 games, but that can mean a missed playoff run and not down the stretch. Or in the first 5 games, you have 3 NFC West opponents. You have to start off hot this year. It gets tougher as the year goes on. So I think the concerns, the DEFCON 1 alerts, I think we should all be there. Because if he can't play, whether week 1, week 2, week 6, week 7, doesn't matter who the opponent is. The job gets 10 times harder without him being on the football field.
I mean, without him, it is a big difference. Now, when you look at a guy like Brian Robinson Jr., B-Rob, I like to call him, when you look at his PFF scores, his PFF grade, I should say, is 74.4. He has a 74.4 receiving grade, according to PFF. That's 9th among running backs in the league. So they went out and got a guy who can, was a good running back and who's good out of the backfield catching the ball because they don't want to lose that element if Christian McCaffrey is slowed down or can't go. And I think that going into Sunday's game, I fully expect Christian McCaffrey to start that game. But if anything comes up, any kind of feeling, any kind of that feels a little funny, they're gonna scale him back, if not pull him out of the game, and let Brian Robinson take the ball basically. But I do think that Christian McCaffrey will play on Sunday because he has to. I mean, look, if they start the season with this guy out, that's setting a bad precedent for the team going into week 1. I mean, he's got to play. He's absolutely got to play.
And then you mix in Jordan James, doubtful on the injury report too.
With a broken finger? I mean, come on.
Hey,
put a club on that.
That's a problem. But you could walk into realistically week 1 with Brian Robinson as your 1. Let's say CMC can't finish the game. Robinson as your 1, Garendo as your 2, and Sincere McCormick as your 3. That is not the worst place to be in. You've seen worse running back rooms in the league the last decade or so, even last year. But that is a far cry from who this team should be offensively, to a point where if I'm San Francisco, I get it. Maybe you want to hide things and mask things and play this somewhat 4D chess and try to maneuver things. Do you guys think it's worth starting to find not a replacement like for the long-term future, but in the immediate future, do you think it's smart for them to kind of further insulate themselves? Why do you have 11 to 10 defensive linemen? Why do you have 10 offensive linemen? Like, why are you carrying MVS? Like, to me, and there's reasons for those things, but with the injuries you have in the running back room, Kyle wants to run the ball 35 times a game. And if you can't do that, you have to find somebody that can.
Well, but that's the thing, though, is that having Brian Robinson, him hearing that CMC's hurt, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get the ball now. He wants the ball. He wants to be a premier running back. And so I think that's a good thing that they went out and got him. Now, you got to remember, too, though, Christian McCaffrey has not been the guy that's like, oh, when it comes to durability, Christian McCaffrey is your guy. No, this guy has been hurt year after year after year. He went through, after 3 healthy seasons, he went through a number of injury-plagued seasons with the Carolina Panthers. And when we got him in 2022, and then in the next year, we had him in 2023, we were fortunate that he didn't really suffer any massive injuries. Then look what happened last year, out for pretty much the whole season. He came back for a couple of games, then blew his knee out. So this guy really hasn't been the most healthiest guy in the league. He, for the most part, if he wasn't a Niner, before he even was a Niner, I always thought of him as kind of an injury-plagued player that sort of needs to have that Jonathan Stewart running back running alongside of you. Like, he needs to be a tandem back. And that's sort of what they went back to this season by getting Brian Robinson. Granted, they got him kind of late in the offseason, but I think they realized, like, hey, look, if McCaffrey can't go, we can't just hand the ball and say, okay, Garendo, you're it. Or, Jordan James with your broken finger that's kept you out for like almost 2 months, you're it. You know what I mean? No, they had to get somebody else in here who can handle the rock, and that was Brian Robinson Jr. But coming back to Sunday, I do feel that Shanahan is leaning really hard into this CMC injury. The fact that he didn't even want to talk about it, that brings up a lot of speculation, a lot of questions about why he wouldn't even delve into talking about his injury. And that can be looked at as a very bad thing for CMC's health. Personally, I feel like he's just doing that because he doesn't want to give anything away. He doesn't want Seattle to know if CMC's healthy or not healthy, or if he's going to go, if he's not going to go. He wants to keep that close to the chest as much as possible. I see the chat saying, oh, the Seahawks aren't that stupid. They won't fall for that. But as long as they're questioning that, as long as they're asking each other, okay, what if he doesn't go? That's all that matters, is that's a little bit of leverage that Kyle Shanahan is trying to use going into Sunday's game. Now, when we look at who else was there in practice, this is more of a side note, but I thought it was pretty cool anyway. I hate how they're always bumping like rap music, and I have to always kill the audio. But Patrick Willis, he was there at practice to help pump up the team. You can see there's Robert Saleh saying what's up to him. He was there to encourage the team as they head to Seattle. So that was pretty cool.
John was just doing his scratching head concerned.
He's
walk.
like, fuck.
waddle.
Did you hear about McCaffrey?
What's that?
Not the body language.
I know.
Look
He's
at
like,
that.
oh, man,
John's
McCaffrey's
uncomfortable.
hurt. We're screwed. Look at Kyle Shanahan, hat backwards. He's chilling.
That's the McCaffrey's healthy, head scratch. Yeah, sure. Ha ha ha.
I sure hope so. But I mean, look, okay, so let's go into Sunday's game. If there is not actually, before we do that, let's go to the super chat. We got Joseph Ernberg over on Sterling's side saying, season's over before it started. Trade big names for picks. Oh my God.
Now that's an overreaction. I know you're probably
Aaron, I mean, I think you guys were in lockstep. You must have been sending him notes.
That's Aaron's burner.
That's Aaron's burner.
I'm actually typing over here right now as we speak now.
Him giving super chats during our live stream to himself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not monetized anymore, homie. I can't give those to me. I wish. It'd be nice.
But seriously, though, I mean, that is the extreme. We thank you for the $1.99 super chat. That's going right into Sterling's pocket. We love that. But at the same time, though, okay, let's go kind of jump ahead to Sunday's game against Seattle. If the Niners don't have Christian McCaffrey, do you think this affects the final score of the game? I mean, do you think having him would make a huge difference in them beating the Seattle Seahawks? And what adjustments are they going to have to make without having CMC? Sterling, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think when you walk into this game and you know you're facing a Mike McDonald defense that likes to use, they like to, disguise press coverage. They'll play three safeties. They'll kind of disguise this two safety high defense, and they'll disguise their blitzes really well. And this defense, although San Francisco won the first game and put up 36 points against them in Seattle last year, it has and will give the offensive line some fits. So having a check down option for Brock Purdy in the screen game in Christian McCaffrey, if you don't have that, that's a pretty big aspect taken out of the game for you to have a quick read for your quarterback. And I think for Brock, we saw last year, he tried to have that Superman cape on too much last year and ran around with his head cut off, trying to find lanes to run and guys open and couldn't do it. And it cost them some games last season. So I think not having Christian McCaffrey, although doesn't condemn San Francisco to a loss, I do think it takes my confidence level down. I think it takes how efficient San Francisco's offense can be down a tick to a point where if you're the Seattle Seahawks, they're going to stack that box and say, we dare you to beat us downfield because we know you only have Pearsall and you only have Jennings. While Pearsall's great and hopefully he can have a big year two jump, Jennings really isn't a deep threat. And if you got a cornerback that can get press coverage against Pearsall and he can't free up, you are going to hinder San Francisco's offense. So I think the chess match between Kyle and McDonald is arguably was and still is the biggest key to victory for San Francisco. But not having Christian McCaffrey, I think, limits how good San Francisco's offense can be to a point where I had them scoring 27 points coming into the week. I may bring that down towards 23, 24.
Aaron, what do you think? Is the score going to drop in terms of their total points without Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, yeah. Sterling made a good point. Like how much of their offense was built on the game plan this season, and especially for this game, built on Christian McCaffrey. It's got to be massive. They want him to touch the ball in the run and the pass game. He's kind of the Mr. Do-It-All. He can hurt you in multiple different ways. And he unlocks the offense because it makes you play honest across the board with different players. And like Sterling said, if you have only a guy like Pearsall and Jennings out there, neither of who you would consider burners. I mean, Pearsall has the wiggle; he can get open, but neither of them would you consider burners. They can really, really stagnate this offense on Sunday. And yeah, it's a huge concern. I don't even maybe 20 points. I mean, if they could somehow get the pass protection to hold up in this game and give Brock some time, maybe he can have an efficient game. But yeah, having Christian McCaffrey questionable and possibly missing this game, maybe that's why Kyle's so angry, because he's got like at the final hour, he's got to change up his offensive approach going into Seattle in a game like Sterling said, he wants to run the ball 35 times. The Niners are a run-first team. They are not a drop-back pass offense like a lot of these teams are in the NFL who are predominantly pass first, run second. The run sets up the pass with this offense. It opens up a ton of things. The Niners aren't your traditional shotgun 50 times a game throwing the ball. It's not what they do. I noticed similarities between them and teams like the Dolphins when people were able to take the running game away with Miami, and you force Tua to drop back and kind of be a drop back quarterback. Those offenses are just not built for it. They're a lot of misdirection, a lot of trickery, a lot of a window dressing, a lot of movement. And when none of that movement needs crap because the main guy that you're trying to facilitate the offense through is either hampered or not playing, it would be a huge disadvantage for the Niners. I went from being insanely comfortable with this game, which is weird because I'm so negative all the time, to 50-50 in my mind right now that whether they win or lose this game. It's that much of a situation, at least for me.
How much of this game, now that Christian McCaffrey is questionable, let's say he does play, but do you guys think San Francisco has the firepower? Do you believe in Brock enough? Do you believe in Kittle enough? Do you believe in this offense enough to overcome not just Seattle's defense, but on San Francisco's defensive side? Do you believe they can hold Seattle's offense to under, let's say, 20 points or under 23 points in this game?
No, I think that at the most, Seattle should be able to score anywhere from 20 to 23 points off the Niners defense. Look, there's been a lot said about the youth movement going on with the Niners defense, but I think that when you look at the talent level that they have, I think they're going to make a huge impact, especially on the pass rush and especially against the run. We know Seattle, who was one of the worst running teams in the league, is looking to reestablish their running game. They're going to test this young defensive line. They're going to run the ball down their throats, and I think that the Niners are going to be ready for that. Where I think the Seahawks have an advantage is that they're going to try and beat them over top, especially after they start running the ball. They're going to try to use play action to go over the top and get big plays off of the questionable Niners secondary outside of Lenore and Bernardo Green. But even Green, for me, is still a little bit questionable as well because this is his second year. I mean, he had a good rookie season, but can he back that up? We saw Jair Brown have a good rookie season, but come back and have a horrible second year. And now we're at a point where we're like, is Jair Brown starting? Oh, maybe he shouldn't, because maybe they should go with Siegel and Pinnock. Well, I haven't seen a lick of Pinnock his entire preseason. Yeah. But,
It isn't always a bad thing, though.
It isn't always a bad thing. It isn't always. I mean, we didn't see any McCaffrey as well, but like the video I'm seeing of McCaffrey jumping around, hopping around, doing all his stuff. To me, this guy doesn't look like a guy who's suffering from any kind of calf injury. I think something came up, and they took a massive precaution in keeping him out to make sure that he's ready for Sunday's game. And I think that Kyle Shanahan's like, you know what? I'm gonna lean on that as something that I could try to use to my advantage because what am I going to say? He's fine. Then all of a sudden, like, something bad happens and he can't play, and it's like, oh, I guess I was wrong. No, he's just like, I'm not going to say anything.
That's a good point. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Aaron.
Do you think this is one of those injuries that maybe it's just I hate to say this, and I don't know, as I'm kind of talking myself out of it as I'm saying this. So we all know Kittle always wears this strap on his shoulder, like he has a torn labrum or something. So technically, if you wanted to, you could put Kittle on the injury report every week. Do you think it's maybe one of those injuries where it's more or less like a wear and tear type thing, and that it's really not that serious as far as re-injury or getting worse, and so they're just being precautionary? Like, because you're right. I mean, he's bouncing all around there, and that is a little. I got blasted so bad for being negative about this, but like I'm starting to kind of look at that video and maybe convince myself that things aren't as bad, and maybe it is a bit of gamesmanship. I don't know, man. Like I'm conflicted. Like the bad side of me is like you're the previous commenter who says the season's over, trade all the big names, and then the other part of me is like, oh, maybe it's just gamesmanship. Maybe he's really not all that hurt, and they were just trying to protect him from himself because he tends to go hard. The
guy barely played at all last season. I think he's a little sore. And I think they're being extra cautious. Now, guys, here we go. We have some breaking news, you guys. This comes courtesy of Matt Mayoko. He says, Christian McCaffrey says he feels great physically. He said he's proud of himself for feeling something Thursday and doing the smart thing, pulling himself out of practice. I've been there before, and I've been my own worst enemy in situations like that. So there you go. Do you think now? Let me ask Sterling. Sterling, do you think this is just, him trying to save face, or do you think he's being really honest about this assessment about his injury?
Christian never comes across as a liar or disingenuous to the media. That said, why couldn't he tell the media yesterday when he was supposed to talk to him?
Maybe he was getting treatment at that time.
Maybe, and that is a high possibility. So I'm not going to hold it against Christian or anybody else. But why couldn't Shanahan say that? Like, he knows that McCaffrey is talking to the media after he talks to him anyways. So why not just say that? Oh, Christian feels great. He's fine. We were a little worried, but nothing too big. Like, CMC's going to talk to the media right after you do. The quote's going to get around no matter what you say because it's coming from the horse's mouth an hour after you talk. Mm-hmm. So what is the point of playing this? Like, do you think the Seahawks PR team and their coaching staff only watches one person's press conference and doesn't have intel on every other team in the entire league? Like, teams leak, teams talk. They know when they see Christian McCaffrey right now, because Matt Mayoko is the team's reporter via NBC Sports, is saying, yeah, I feel great. I felt something. I didn't want to risk it, so I didn't practice. That's fine. I don't blame CMC for doing that. Good on him for not doing what he usually does and pushing through things and making things worse. That said, this doesn't give me any less pause, though, because you still felt something. Like, your calf acted up in some way, whether it was something small, minor. I mean, I've had surgery. I know Aaron's had surgery. Sometimes things just don't take. CMC didn't have surgery on his calf. He had ultrasound and Germany stuff. I just think that
Germany stuff.
German stuff.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch. I like Leon's take right here.
Understand
because he doesn't have to. He likes watching us squirm and sweat.
Right. And that's not incorrect. Like, Shanahan can, play the straight man and be like, I don't know. Yeah, Christian's fine. I don't know. Whatever. No, I don't want to talk about it. But CMC's going to talk it right after you do and explain what's happening, and it's going to get out anyways. And maybe that's why Shanahan was like, talk to Christian, which, okay, fine. But, like, it's not as if the reports are going to be different or it's not going to get out as to how CMC feels. Like, just be honest and truthful. We're going to see it anyways. It's 2025. It's social media age. There's Twitter. There's X. There's Twitch. There's YouTube. Like, it's going to get out. Just say what's happening. Be transparent. It's not like you're going to have the Seahawks make 2 game plans and then go, oh, we don't know what to do on Sunday. It's the NFL. Like, these guys are prepared 100% every time.
You think Shanahan's just being a moody prick like he usually is? And just like...
Mike yelled at him in the press conference.
Here's a little clip from Shanahan today.
I have no arthritis tendonitis or different. That's just my lack of education on being a doctor. But no, he's just questionable dealing with his calf.
Okay, he isn't.
He's such an ass.
I'm telling you right now, he's being an ass. I think he's just playing this like, hey, screw you guys. Nobody knows. He would rather see everybody freak out.
Like, I have control over you, and I'm going to make you know that.
That's a bitch move right there. I don't understand why you do that.
He was probably staring right at Grant when he said that too.
Yeah, when he said something about somebody being uneducated. Yeah, 100%.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're all right. Did not practice.
I mean, even that where he's like, hey, hold on. Yeah, did not practice. He already knew that.
That the most egregious part of his clip is how he swallows that water right into the microphone. It sounds disgusting.
He does one of those like headless ASMR channels
any team
where you
drills
don't see the
Kyle,
face.
or what happened during
Tapping
practice
a
yesterday
microphone?
with them?
Yeah, he did a limited amount of stuff in practice yesterday.
What's your level of concern with his physical condition and his ability
Telling
to
you.
play on Sunday?
Questionable concern.
It's questionable. Questionable concern. I'm not going to say anything about Christian, guys.
He's smiling. He's
such a
literally
narcissist.
smirking.
He's such a narcissist.
Like, to me, he's just playing. He's just like, I'm not gonna tell you anything.
You know, he's more of a narcissist than his father was. His father could be wound pretty tight.
He's got that Chuck E. Cheese grin.
That's my brother's nickname for one of my nieces because she has kind of that Chucky kind of. So yeah, like when he. That's funny that you said Chuck E. Cheese.
Chucky. Look, do I think he'll play this Sunday? I do. I think he'll be out there. And I think they may have a game plan where he's not going to get a ton of snaps. He's going to share the role with Brian Robinson, which what should happen.
But do you think that's what they do? Because they never do that, even when they're supposed to. Even when he came back from the injury last year.
But here's the thing, though.
20 touches.
But when you look at a guy like Jordan Mason, right? That wasn't a guy that they were going to throw the ball to. It wasn't. Even though he practiced on catching the ball in the offseason, they never threw him the ball. Brock never looked his way. And so I'm hoping that with a guy like Brian Robinson, who's more established, that he'll feel more comfortable looking for him in the flat, looking for him in the check down to keep the ball moving and to throw him the ball, because he wasn't doing that with guys like Eric Saubert. He wasn't doing that with guys like Jordan Mason. It was either Jennings or bust or George Kittle.
The pass catching isn't the problem. It's Christian McCaffrey taking hits in between the tackles, having his calf and his Achilles rolled up on or grabbed onto as he's trying to pull away from somebody. Like, that to me is the concern. Getting Christian wide open in the flat is not the problem. That's how he should be used more often than not, with Robinson being the guy taking the brunt of the carries in the tackles, where you want to get CMC on the wide zone stuff, get him outside, let him run behind Trent and use check and Kittle, free him up so he can have free lanes to run. Yeah, Robinson can come in and spell him for a certain stint because he has a pass catching ability, but my concern is that Kyle is not going to move on this. Bobby Turner is not one to say, let's rotate the running backs to preserve their health. It's like, no. Get out there, take 20 touches, they need to get hurt, the next guy's up. And
but they should, though. I mean, they need to monitor how much of a load he's carrying. I mean, why wouldn't you at this point?
Because they're stubborn. They're stubborn. His dad was the same way. Dude, they shortened Terrell Davis' career to 5 years, man. Like,
and he was really good, too.
And then he was nothing.
Hall of Famer.
And he was gone. So...
Hall of Famer with a short career. Okay, so we'll touch back on CMC as more updates can become available. But another topic I wanted to bring up as we move along here in the show is the topic about Jauan Jennings. Now, we know that Jauan Jennings...
JJ.
What?
Sorry. Said JJ.
I think he said, okay. Jennings reached an agreement on a deal that will add $3 million in playtime incentives to the wide receiver's contract per his agent Drew and Jason Rosenhaus. Now, instead of earning $7.5 million this season, Jennings will earn up to $10.5 million. Aaron, is this the right move for San Francisco? Or do you think they should have just stand pat and said, no, we're not paying you. You've signed a contract. Go out there and play.
No, I think this was the perfect middle ground for both. And Sterling shut it down. This whole, like, they want to. You shut it down in the group chat. We were talking about this. Maybe the Niners still would like to offer him a bigger contract, and that he decided to go with just the 1 year, the 1 year deal, and then test free agency. So, if that being said, and that part of it is off the table, then I think it was they gave him a little extra money for his for him coming back and being a team player, but at the same time the Niners, like, they're going to stand pat on being a little bit more frugal with the money, like they've been the last couple of years, and a lot of people, including myself, are starting to think that this is it for Jauan, and he might be the guy that goes. You probably re-sign McKivitz to some sort of deal next offseason and, give Jauan Jennings his walking papers and let him go make some more money somewhere else. It's sad, but I keep thinking that the DeMarcus Robinson signing was kind of a sign that the 49ers might be moving in a different direction in the offseason. They gave him enough money just to get him on the field, so to speak. But I like Sterling shut it down. He said there is no other report that, they were going to offer him $15 million a year. So with that being off the table, I think this was just a compromise, essentially. They asked him if you like money at his locker, and he says he's like money.
I like money.
So good on him to be a team player and come back. But And I'm happy for him if he decides to leave next year and go get paid somewhere else. You know, Niners you can't pay everybody. My brother always talk about that. He's like, you cannot pay all your players. There's a reason why you draft.
Exactly.
And you try to build around the draft and pay, a majority of your superstars. But yeah, sucks that this might be it for him. But at least, they got him on the field. They did what they had to do to get him on the field on Sunday. And depending on what the situation is in the running back room, they might freaking need him. So I'm happy.
I mean, there was talk, obviously. I know Adam Schefter had brought it up that the Niners did offer him a multi-year deal. It sounds like it may have been short of what he wanted. I know there was a rumor going around about it was they would have had him at $15 million a year. I don't know if that's true or not. But if he didn't sign that multi-year deal, I would suspect that he wanted something like $20 million a year that he thinks that he'll get in the open market if he has a good season this season. It's possible. It really is. I mean, teams would spend crazy money on receivers, especially on one that's big and tall like him.
People paid for Christian Kirk a couple years ago, so you are right about that one.
Trent Baalke, he went after him. He loved Christian Kirk. And you saw how that worked out. But still, but with that being said, Sterling, do you think that this is the right move for San Francisco to just give him some more money and get him back on the field?
There is not a single scenario in which this is a losing one for San Francisco. You get Jauan for what seems like one more year. You give him the money or part of the money he wants. Incentivize him to go out there and ball out for you. Hopefully have another big year. And if he does, you benefit from that. He becomes a great wide receiver. He then goes and gets paid. Hopefully that leads to wins for you this year. Then he gets paid in the offseason. Hopefully, let's say he gets $20 million per year. What does that mean? Third-round draft pick compensation or a fourth-round draft pick compensation for a guy you picked in round number 7.
Got to remind people
that is how smart front offices work.
Yeah.
That people forget, and look, we all love Jauan. For as good as he has been, and as much as you want to pay guys like Jauan who are every bit deserving of the money they're asking for, you have a cap for a reason. You can't pay everybody, as Aaron said, but also too, you can replace guys like Jauan. Jauan's great. What trait does Jauan have? Outside of run blocking, in which you can find other big-bodied slot guys that can do that elite receivers have. He isn't a great route runner. He's not a great, he doesn't have elite speed. He doesn't do other things that guys like a healthy Ayuk do, or the greats like Jamar Chase can do. Jauan is a B-tier receiver, which maybe sometimes because the traits aren't always there, he's a C-tier guy, which is never a bad thing. You need those guys on your roster. That's why he's been here and played well, and he has a skill set this offense can utilize, but he doesn't have the skill set you say, I got to have that guy back. And so I think San Francisco did the smart thing. They gave him a deal that they knew he probably really wasn't going to sign, or at least thought could get him on a cheap for. He said no. They said, great, here's $3.5 million in incentives. Go ball out, go get paid, and get us back some compensation because we want more draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, raising his pay, getting him on the field, like you were saying, if he signs for $20 million, getting that third-round draft pick, that's a win for San Francisco and a guy who was a seventh-round pick. And again, I said it in my video as well. He's a seventh-round pick. There are a lot of guys you can get in the 7th round that are like Jauan Jennings. This is why when the Niners took a chance on a Junior Bergen, that it was like, do you really want to take a chance on a guy who's just going to be a punt returner?
Sure. Do
you really? And what they ended up doing, they traded one of their picks to get Sky Moore. Because at the end of the day, that's what they needed, was a guy who could do punt, kick, and who could be a receiver. And so they said, okay, let's go out and get this guy because the guy we drafted is a little too limited, and frankly, he's not going to work out. And now he's on the practice squad.
Have you seen him in some of the practice? Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, people often forget the reason why Jauan Jennings fell so far was because he had some pretty serious personal concerns, some character concerns, and that's why he fell. He was a quarterback at Tennessee, moved to wide receiver. There were some issues with the coaching staff there, and he fell for that reason. Obviously, Jauan is seemingly a great dude and has changed things around and grown into a great player, but Jauan fell for a reason, and San Francisco, like Junior Bergen, I guess, to a certain extent, did take a chance on him panning out for them. Obviously, his skill set was what they wanted, but Jauan wasn't a guarantee.
No.
But he grew, and he did the right thing and put in the hard work to become the player that he has become.
Okay, guys, let's take a quick. We got a break. We got some breaking news that's hitting right now. Here's Christian McCaffrey talking. Look at Matt Barrows
With a shirt on in the background.
Listen, man.
Looking like.
What is Matt Barrows doing? What is happening right now?
He has his phone or his microphone under.
Matt
He's
Barrows
so
looks
small.
Wow, he is a
I
small
love
guy.
Matt.
Oh yeah, he's a little
Matt
guy.
Matt's the best, man.
He's like Captain Picard, but not.
Who's that guy in the background? Who's that?
It's Jordan Jefferson. Then
Yeah, he's like, man,
fake
this
guy
guy
that
ain't gonna
they
play
said
on
was-
Sunday.
That was the guy they said was Trent Williams last year. Remember when they showed that sideline picture? That's
Oh
the
yeah,
dude
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that guy. All right, here we go. Here's Christian McCaffrey talking about his injury.
Nothing serious. Like I said, I feel great about where I'm at. Unfortunately, when you have an injury history that I have, sometimes when you don't practice, things get blown out of proportion. But like I said, I feel great.
Is it not? Does it feel different than it felt last summer?
Yeah, I've forgotten about last year. I forgot about the year before that. I'm focused on this week and playing Seattle.
That's my dude right there. That's why I love him.
Just kind of thing in practice where you felt something and you just want to be real cautious with it. Is that kind of what happened? Yeah, I'm not supposed to go into anything that happened, but as I say, I felt like it was a smart thing to do to not finish the practice because I've been there before and I've been my own worst enemy in situations like that. And I'm just proud of myself for not doing that again.
Can someone tell everyone to shut the fuck up in the background? Hey, you guys, shut up!
Like I said,
I'm surprised we didn't get a good old towel slip behind us because he's changing his pants behind.
Yeah, I know. He's
Why
like,
does it
should I
sound
drop
like
my
you're-
pants?
Why
Should
does
I
it
dro-
sound like he's at like mid-court at like a YMCA
Well,
basketball?
he's in the locker room right now for sure.
Okay.
Well, yeah. No, he's in the bathroom.
There's 60 other guys in there talking and chatting it up. I'm sure there's some dudes playing basketball in there too, because there always is.
All right, here we go.
Lower bodies. Is that going to factor into the decision? Are these 2 weeks also?
no, I don't think so. Yeah, we play on it once every, twice in 14 days. Should be all right.
Okay, well, there we go.
There's a lot in there.
There's that look right there. He's looking at him like, should I drop my pants right now?
Should I drop
Am I on
the towel
camera?
right here?
I
I
don't know.
want to cover myself up.
Is this going to be a problem?
There, in that clip, though, there was one of two things I took away. One, Christian said, playing once, twice, every couple of weeks shouldn't affect me too much. That, to me, says the long-term effects, he's not worried about them.
No,
That's
he's
a good
not.
thing. That's a really good thing. But two, him saying I'm not supposed to reveal what happened. Did he get stepped on? Did he fall down? Was he digging around during practice and like
Who
something
knows?
happened and was like, oh man, playing
Did him and
hopscotch with Kittle? Like
Or him and his wife
maybe-
trying a different position and that one of them fell? Like, what
Oh, my
happened?
calf! Look, when I heard calf injury, my first response is, dude, somebody throw him an extra $4 million. It usually makes those things go away. Jauan Jennings is like, yeah, 4, hey, go 5.
Yo, man, go
It is-
5, man.
5.
Drastically
they
better.
undo the Jauan deal and give Christian the incentives that he already got laptop fees and didn't play for. Gosh.
That's
But,
terrible. Can you imagine?
The quote, it was hard to hear, but the direct quote was, I feel great where I'm at. Unfortunately, the injury history that I have, sometimes you don't practice, things get blown out of proportion.
There you go.
Is he fine? He sounds like he's fine now.
I think he's a lot better off than
We
I thought he
overreacted.
was.
I'm sorry.
We do it for clicks, for the 6 people that watch, people.
Oh, man.
So right now, actually,
Talking about me.
thank you for bringing that up. Right now, we have a total of 647 watching right now. Guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe
Yeah.
to all 3 channels, Jerry Area Sports, 49ers Access, and 49ers First Takes. If you're watching on X, make sure you follow our accounts on X as we go live every week for Cover 3. And we all have our own shows. I'll be live with Aaron on Mondays for Empire-
State of Mind Pies.
49ers Empire State of Mind.
No, it is just Empire State.
No,
of-
I don't live in the Empire State, so we got to change the
no,
name.
but remember, I told you it no longer was a New York-based show because I can't get people to ever agree that live in New York. So it more encapsulates the Niners Empire.
So it's 49ers Empire.
State of mind.
State of Mind.
It's the Empire State of Mind podcast.
Why did you say that name?
Because that's the name.
So there you have it. We heard it from Christian McCaffrey. He says he's fine. Things get blown out of proportion. content creators flip out for no reason.
I would not say no reason. There's every reason to, when you see Christian McCaffrey and calf injury, to say, "Oh my God, this guy is falling. The season's over."
How much do you think GC and his Goombas were like, "Told you," as soon as they saw that report, like the click? That's all I thought of yesterday was like, "Oh my God, they're like peeing their pajamas right now." Like, see, it's not the same. Woo!
Honestly, I don't care. I don't care what they do. They're gonna do their own thing. But what I did want to talk about was going into Sunday's game. Sterling had a good post here that got us up to speed about where the Seattle Seahawks are at going into Sunday's game. Let's go ahead and bring that up right now. And it's breaking news. So we got the Seahawks have ruled out the following players. He forgot to make it plural for Sunday's game versus the 49ers. And you're a writer. Come on. My favorite receiver, Jake Bobo, he's concussed.
Last name in the world.
Uchenna Nwosu. Whatever. What is it?
And you're a talker?
What was his name?
Uchenna Nwosu.
Uchenna Nwosu with a knee injury, and Drake Young, that's a weird way of spelling it, has a hamstring. What is it?
Derek.
Whatever. Mr. Young is out, a receiver with a hamstring. So guys I don't think they're that big of an issue, these guys. Is Nwosu a starter?
He was supposed to be. He had off-season surgery, but he hasn't recovered just yet. But he's on track to recover. They'll probably see him week 18 if he's healthy then.
Week 18?
Well, no. He'll be back before then, but the Niners won't see them again until week 18.
Oh, I was saying he's out for the year, basically? My God.
I always thought I had a weird last name in the lab again, but Bobo?
Bobo.
Like when your parents
Bobo
would
is a passionate listener of the channel. Watch out.
We
love Bobo.
He'll find you. Okay, so
I was thinking of like the shoes when we used to go to Payless and you wanted Jordan.
Bogo.
Now Bogo is like a thing at a grocery store.
Oh yeah, it is.
We all bought Shacknosises. That was what every kid had in my school. Them clunky ass basketball sneakers.
Actually, I have footage of Aaron showing up at a shoe store right now. You want to see it? Here it is, right here.
Whoa! Call the cops!
He's a
little portly like myself.
Now, where's that damn Bogo at?
That's the entire fan base driving into Levi's HQ of like, I'm going to give Christian McCaffrey my calf right now. Take it. Take it.
Cut mine off, damn it.
Where's that calf sacrificing line in the stadium?
Okay, so a couple more things I want to talk about before we break down the game on Sunday. This is kind of wild, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but I figured why not? As we know, Brock Purdy was not listed under the top 100 players on the NFL's list of 100 players. CJ Stroud was ranked at number 39. But when you compare their numbers, it kind of makes you wonder, what are we looking at here? Completion percentage, Stroud 63.2, Brock Purdy 65.9. Passing yards, 3,727, Brock Purdy 3,864. TDs 2020. Interceptions, 12. Quarterback rating, 87 for Stroud. Brock had a 96.1 quarterback rating. So why is it that Brock is not in the top 100, but CJ Stroud is number 39? Sterling, what's happening here? Like, is the hate for Brock Purdy still alive within the NFL?
Houston was 10-7 last year, and I think the NFL and the players view Stroud as a more dynamic player who had a bad year because he didn't have Diggs and lost Tank Dell. And, is that fair?
But Brock Purdy lost. He lost Brandon Ayuk. He didn't have Debo some days. Pierce Hall got shot.
You got to think, though, this is a player voted on poll. The players view Stroud as a better quarterback because he can do more things. The success has not been on equal playing field. Purdy has been more successful, and in a down year for Brock, it's equal footing. So, it's just how it really comes down to a popularity contest mixed with stats and how you perform, where Like, why was George Kittle in like the 30s? In the like why? Why was Chris McCaffrey on the list at all? He didn't play last year.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, and look, we love those guys, but Kittle to me is a top 20 player in football. And he was phenomenal last year, and he wasn't inside the top 20 at all.
Aaron.
I look at the Jalen Hurts situation. Even winning a Super Bowl last year, I still don't consider him as an elite quarterback. That's my personal opinion.
Sure.
Brock Purdy will always, because of where he was drafted and because of the physical traits that he lacks, will always be overlooked, not only by fans, pundits, but even people within the National Football League. And, it is what it is. And if you go based on Ryan Clark's way of rating quarterbacks now, because he's a clown, he said that Tom Brady wasn't a generational quarterback. So
he said Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning
were non-generational.
Three of the greatest quarterbacks the last 25 years.
There's this obsession because if you run around a lot and you can make plays with your legs, that makes you generational. But the only one that runs around and makes plays with his legs that it's actually won is Patrick Mahomes. So Ryan Clark. Why did you say that name? Ryan Clark.
We don't talk about Patrick Mahomes in the show anymore. It's a sore subject.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised he didn't get the love.
I don't even think Mahomes is the best quarterback in football.
I don't think he is either.
I hate Patrick Mahomes. I hate him with a passion.
I hate him too.
I don't know why we're talking about him.
I think it's Lamar Jackson. He's two-time MVP.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
But like Lamar's so good.
I think Joe Burrow's overrated.
Simmer.
Huh?
I love Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's really good. I really like Joe Burrow a lot. I like him and Justin Herbert a lot.
What has he ever done?
You know who I don't? Well, he went to the Super Bowl.
He was Super Bowl and lost to the Rams because of a dumb holding call.
That, and I would say he actually beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC title game, something that both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson can never seem to do. He did it. So I was like, okay, there you go. Now, look, it's a little weird, but basically the top 100, it's a huge popularity contest. And again, they're gonna see how much they were wrong if Brock Purdy has a good year this coming year, which I think he's going to have. So, guys, as we wrap things up, I want to dive into Sunday's game. When we're talking about final score predictions, I know Sterling hates giving final score predictions, but on this show, we're going to do it because this is what we do.
On my show, I do them every week.
Maybe it wasn't. Oh no, you know what it was? It was Johnny Dell was telling me. He's like, I don't like giving final score predictions. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you're going to do it today because it's one of our topics.
This is my show, so you're going to do it, okay?
Pretty much. Okay, so looking at the final score prediction, where do you have the Niners and Seahawks in the final score? I did a Madden simulation earlier today. The Niners won that game 28-23, and a game that shouldn't have been that close, and a game that the Niners scored 0 points in the second half, but they were able to hold Seattle down to 23 points as it was too little too late for Seattle. Where do you think the game ends up on Sunday? Let's start with Aaron.
Aaron, what do you think?
I'm going to say now that...
Oh. Should we harmonize? What do you say?
And everyone in the chat, go ahead and drop your final score in the chat right now. I want to know what you guys think the final score will be at the end of the game on Sunday. But Aaron, let's start with you.
Based on the information we have now with Chris McCaffrey, or at least him alleviating some of my mental distress, I'm going to go with my previous thought was that I think the Niners win this game handily. I think the Niners go 31, Seattle 17.
Wow. That's a big win. That's a big win. I'll go next because why not? I think the final score is going to be, yesterday I had it at 31-21. Today I'm going to say 20-17. If McCaffrey is at all questionable, and let's say he's limited or can't go, 20-17. If McCaffrey plays, 34-21. Niners.
It's also fair.
34-20. So you have both those. If CMC plays, both you have San Francisco.
I change it up.
Over 30 points.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I don't think even if CMC plays, this offense is putting up over 27 points. I have San Francisco winning 27-23 over the Seattle Seahawks. I do think that Christian McCaffrey in his career has over 1,000 yards. He's averaging about over 100 to 150 yards per game against Seattle, has 7 touchdowns against them. Like he owns the Seattle Seahawks. And
He does.
with the assumption that he'll be out there this Sunday, it seems like he will be, and that him not practicing today and limited yesterday was more precautionary than anything, albeit we have rights to be worried about it. I think San Francisco wins 27-23. I think it's close. I think that there's a real chance that defense is on the field with a minute and a half left, up by 4, and we're all like, holy hell, Robert Saleh, bring it home, baby. I also think that we could be in for a game-sealing interception by either Renardo Green or D. Winters. I'm really pushing for Winters to have a big breakout game in his first game of year 3 for him.
Okay, and last thing, players of the game. Who do you think will be the standout player of the game this Sunday, Sterling?
Ooh, why not D. Winters? I just kind of said his name. He's coming into a pivotal year 3. He is tasked with being the starter next to Fred Warner. He's kind of been under the radar. I know in camp and in practice he wasn't, but now that the preseason's over with and we're entering into week 1, no one's really talking about D. Winters. I think he becomes an underrated piece where the Seahawks want to operate over the middle of the football field. The Kubiak's calling plays for them now. Warner will lock down his side, but I think Winters will shock a lot of folks and have a great game in coverage against the Seahawks, who want to run the football, and Winters has improved his run defense this year as well. So I'm going D. Winters.
Okay, Aaron, player of the game.
Jake Moody.
I was going to say that just to be funny.
Mac Jones.
Totally.
Oh.
George Kittle.
Yeah,
I think George has a huge game.
I think he's going to tear up their linebackers. I don't think Seattle will have an answer for him. And if they do have an answer for him, that means that one of the receivers is going to be wide open all the time because they're going to overcover on George Kittle.
You just brought up Jake Moody. That completely ruined my mood for Sunday. Oh, my God.
Hey,
that should, you know what? That should have warranted this.
Say that name!
You should have dropped it on that.
You brought it up first.
I know, but when he said Jake Moody, I should have dropped that right then.
You should have.
We are in the snap by snap tier with Christian McCaffrey and Jake Moody of like, Jake, don't miss kicks. Christian, don't get hurt. We are in a very bad place.
I hate when I get to that point with players, like every play in a Niners game where I'm like, please get up, please get up, please get up. Oh, they zoomed away too quickly.
That was like last year with McCaffrey. It was like, oh, he's fine. Oh, okay, he got up. It was like, oh, watch out.
The play that he injured his knee on, he did like this flip and he landed on it and looked fine. And then the play right after it, he just
slid down. Yeah, I was like, oh, no. And then Mason got hurt after that. It was like, all right, I'm turn this off. This is over.
Man.
Yeah,
just
what do you
rough.
think, Trey? Your top player.
For me, I think the player of the game, the player is going to stand out the most and have the biggest impact on the game is going to be CJ West. I think this guy is built to be an effective run stopper, and I wouldn't be surprised. He's not a pass rusher, but I would not be surprised if he sneaks in 1 to 2 sacks because of all the attention that both Bryce Huff, Nick Bosa, and even Michael Williams are going to draw on the edges. So I think that CJ West is going to emerge as one of the better defensive tackles the Niners have, and I think he's going to make a name for himself. I think after this game, people are going to say, this guy is really, really good, and he's a great run stopper. He's going to be the next coming of DJ Jones. I'm really excited about CJ West.
Do you think the young guys play a lot because Micah Williams, Upton Stout, and West didn't play the entire preseason or missed the last 2 games?
I think there'll be a rotation of Mike. I think there'll be a rotation of Michael and Huff. I
think the Niners are being extra cautious, making sure that those guys do not get hurt any further. And as soon as they said, "Oh, that hurts," they were like, "You're out. You're going to be at practice, and that's it. No one's going to see you. No one's going to know you. No one's going to – all they know is that you're lurking in the background waiting to come out." And so Upton Stout is going to be really good, but CJ West is the guy that I think is going to really make a name for himself in this game.
See, I think we might see Chase Lucas a lot in this game. I don't think they want to have Stout locking up with JSN in the slot in his debut.
But not only that, but think about Cooper Kupp. They can line him up in the slot. He's fine coming out of the slot, and then if he's going to go against Upton Stout, he's like, oh, shit.
That is when I think we will see Stout, but I think if they're smart, like they're going to want Lenore to kind of shadow JSN a lot in the slot and outside. where I think if he's in the slot, I think Chase Lucas may play the outside a lot because Stout doesn't do that, and we don't like Darrell Luter Jr. So I think Chase Lucas may be a preseason standout, which may become either a starter week 1 or a pivotal role player for them in the secondary against Seattle.
Yeah, I think Chase Lucas is set to have a big season. I really hope he can keep up the intensity that he brought in the preseason. He definitely earned his spot on the roster.
Watch for him on a corner blitz during the game.
Whenever he's in the game, they're going to be like, corner blitz, where is he? Chase Lucas is out there. He's coming. He's coming.
Let's hope they don't play at the Cowboys last night and have the quarterback dead to rights and with because it's their own fault 5 times.
Dude, what about CD Lamb? That was that second to last pass that he dropped. That was right in the breadbasket. He was like, "Oh shit!"
Dak was good last night too. Like Dak
he
was, a lot better.
But at the same time, even before those last 2 drops by CD Lamb, he damn near threw an interception to end the game, and it went right through the corner's hands. I was like, if he catches that ball, everyone's gonna be like, Dak sucks. I kept thinking, I was like, man, I wonder if he's gonna throw an interception, and he almost threw one. Right as I was thinking that, I was like, oh, he was probably like, oh, thank God. All hell would have rained down on me for that one. Big Brick says, I see Lucas having a sack and a pick 6 in week 1. Man, I sure hope so. That'd be
awesome.
That'd be awesome. Guys, that's going to do it for our show on Cover 3. I want to thank Sterling and Aaron for coming out again, dropping a fire show. We're live every Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And we're covering all the latest news surrounding the San Francisco 49ers. Aaron, what other streams do you have coming up for the rest of the week?
No more. I will see you on Monday, and then I will be back hosting this show going into week 2 next Friday.
So, okay.
Unless I could hook up with Raj, yeah, baby. No, if I could hook up with Raj with a stream maybe next week, early midweek. He's so busy now that I don't even test it, but we'll see.
This just in, Aaron will not be live the rest of the week until Monday when he's with me. So there we go.
I know, I just kind of went all, you know how I am.
Yeah, he's all about the pregame. Sterling, what do you got lined up for the rest of the week?
Yeah, you guys can find me after the game, directly after, hopefully, San Francisco wins, live on the 95.7 The Game YouTube channel and the radio airwaves there with my friend Mark Grandy. We'll be on the air for about 2 to 3 hours. Everything from the top to the bottom, Brock all the way to Jake Moody. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but we'll break it all down for you on 95.7 The Game and then come back to that same channel throughout the entire year for every single post-game, and then come back to my channel, 49ers Access, later on Sunday night as we then break down Niners, Seahawks. Go full on in depth, and we talk to this respond to you guys live as we do it all on 95.7 The Game.
Right on. And then, guys, you'll see me again this Sunday for Post-Game Live. I'll have my co-host Drew Forder with me, my brother Daniel, and my brother-in-law Dre will also be there. The 3 of us will break down all the latest news. His name's Andres. He goes by Dre. Double D. We'll break down all the latest news and all the things that happened on Sunday against the Seahawks. That's at 5 p.m. Pacific time, so make sure you tune in for that. I'll be live again on Monday with Aaron at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And Aaron's like, that's not the time we agreed on. And then Wednesday, I'll be live again doing my Niners simulation for Madden 26 when they go against the New Orleans Saints. And then, of course, I'll be back here on Fridays for Cover 3. From Sterling, Aaron, and myself, thank you to everyone who showed up today, everyone who was in the chat, everyone who's watching at home. We have 681 watching in total, 668 on my X account. Woo! Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to all 3 channels, Dre Area Sports, 49ers Access, and 49ers First Takes. Until next week, go Niners! Niners, head to Seattle and take on the Seahawks at Lumen Field this Sunday. It's going to be a really, really good game. I'm really, really excited for it. And we'll see how it ends up shaking out, because this is going to be a big game, and they got to get the win on week 1. Until then, guys, go Niners, and we'll see you next time. Peace!